In today's episode, we're covering important updates on US tariffs and Rolex price increases, a seriously disturbing G-Shock, and more. So let's get started. Hi everyone, my name is Jenny, and I know from my own experience how hard it is to keep up with the news and watch news especially. So to make life easier for you, I filter through all the blogs and sites to bring you the most important watch stories and releases of the past couple of days. So lean back, turn up the volume, and let's get updated. As expected, we have an update on the whole US tariff situation, and I get this info from a great article by Andy Hoffman. He's been the main person to report about this on Kudoke, and I really appreciate how precise and on point he is with everything. So Rolex, since they are based in Geneva, Switzerland, will lift US retail prices by about 3% starting May 1st of 2025. So by the time this video is out, that must have been yesterday. And since the United States is one of Rolex's largest markets, any raise in percentage is going to have a significant impact. The move responds directly to the 10% tariff the US administration imposed this month on most Swiss goods, including watches. A previously floated 31% reciprocal tariff is put on hold for 90 days after financial market turmoil, but the 10% duty remains while Swiss and US officials negotiate still. Besides tariffs, Swiss brands face strong Swiss franc versus the US dollar and sharply higher raw material costs, notably gold, very important for watches, squeezing margins and making price increases more likely. Omega will also raise US prices around 5%, also effective in May 1st, part of a broader kind of like swatch group adjustment of 8 to 10% for certain brands announced the prior week. Analysts expect other Swiss brands to implement similar increases, meaning US consumers could soon pay noticeably more across the luxury watch category. So in short, you've got fresh US tariffs, currency headwinds, and high production costs that are forcing Rolex and likely the rest of Swiss watchmaking, we'll have to wait and see, to raise prices for American buyers, with the first wave of increases arriving on May 1st. How this will play out for consumers and the industry in general is only something that time will tell. As always, there's been quite the debate in the comments, and I'm very curious to hear from you guys what you think, especially if you live in the US and are, directly affected by this. How do you view all this? Are you hesitant to buy new watches? Do you not care? Just give me your point of view in the comment section down below. And right now that we've got that covered, we're heading over to the new releases. I'm really happy to see that things have started to kind of move again, and we're first going to look at Kudoke. The German-based indie watchmaker has released something unsurprisingly beautiful. I did review some extremely cool Kudoke watches before. I will link the video down below so you can watch it after you have finished this one, and you can just see how consistent Kudoke is with their design DNA, because now they have presented the Kudoke 5, the fifth model in the Handwerk line. It centers everything on a highly domed, hand-engraved celestial disc that makes one full turn every 24 hours, transforming, this very kind of, familiar two-hand display into a single revolution reading of the day. It is a 38mm diameter stainless steel watch with a lug-to-lug of 47mm, so definitely itsy-bitsy wrist committee approved, with a 580 water resistance. The rotating disc shows daylight and night sky half, so whichever half sits uppermost tells you whether it's, noon or midnight at a glance. Engraved details include the constellation Ursa Minor with Polaris, highlighted by sequential galvanic treatments in yellow gold, white rhodium, and black rhodium. It houses the Kudoke in-house caliber. It's a hand-worn caliber, the 124-hour L, with a custom ball bearing system that carries the large disc to eliminate the need for lubrication and is reducing friction, which is a first for Kudoke. The bridges you can see here on the photos are frosted by hand, which is very nice, with the infinity symbol on the balance cock. This family-run manufacturer published a retail price of €17,900, and the watch is planned to go into sale at the end of the year, around autumn of 2025. And then I want to show you a very special Casio G-Shock. I feel like this one is a kind of effort release from Casio. Kiko Ibe is referred to by Casio themselves as the father of the G-Shock. In 1981, he proposed a rugged watch that would not break even if dropped, and began developing a shock-resistant construction after 2 years of that hard work. The first G-Shock was released, and everything else is history. But among those design drafts, there was also a simple rubber ball type prototype design, and starting with this design, Casio has drafted out this kind of metamorphosis from which the rubber ball prototype turns into this so-called tough toughness spirit that evolves with each challenge it faces. So yeah, that's the story for their outlandish design according to Casio, that is presented in 4 very different colors. There's almost this kind of like an atomic green, a matte black, a silver, and you've got this very rich deep purple. It's a very like sculpted, almost organic case that merges the bezel and band into one sort of flowing form, while sharply defined edges and those oversized bumper style markers emphasize impact resistance and give the watch this very futuristic, strange presence. And yeah, beside the crazy case, there's also another first for Casio here. They debut a magnetic holding structure that keeps the hands in place without a physical shaft connection. The minute hand doubles as a shock release hand. It can flex under impact, then snap back to correct time. The design allows for larger, kind of like bolder hands and greater freedom in dial styling. So I guess we're going to see a bit more in that department in the future months and years to come. You've got the minor handshake immediately after a knock. That is totally normal and self-correct. So yeah, don't be alarmed if you have this watch and you see some shaking. This is all fine. The case dimensions, they go as follows for everyone who wants to know. This is a 58.2 millimeter to 49.1 to 19.6 millimeter case. It's got an integrated band that Casio recommends for wrists between, I think they said something about 145 to like 215 millimeter in circumference. So technically, I think I've measured my wrist lately. It's been around the 145 millimeter circumference. This is also Itty Bitty Wrist Committee approved on paper, even though I'm not sure how this is going to look on smaller wrists. But yeah, they're currently sold out. They went on sale, I think 2 weeks ago, and they go for a price of, I think, $140. And I don't really know what to say. It looks funny, kind of reminds me of one of those childhood toys that I had. I think it was called Slimy or something. It's just like a slime that you could like fumble around with, and if you were throw it to the ground and just like splattered onto the ground, it would look like that G-Shock. Yeah, I mean, it is definitely something you would get noticed for, but at the end of the day, you have to decide if that is worth $140 to you. That is pretty much all I have for you guys today. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to watch more videos like this and never miss an update regarding watch news, make sure to follow my channel, subscribe, and then I will see you in my next video. Bye!